That's a fucking miss.
Oh boy. On today's episode of I Don't Clean My Shit, PWS proves I don't have to. Welcome back, Charlies. Today we were talking about PWS and their Mark 111 and Mark 116 uppers. Both of these uppers are chambered in 223 Wild with a 1-in-8 twist. The Mark 116 features a 16.1 inch barrel, while the Mark 111 features that 1.8 inch barrel. Either way, both these shoot great. Let's talk about some of the pros, cons, and why you might want one over a DI AR-15. Alright guys, make sure you check out our beacons link. It's down below. It's going to have all of our current giveaways and some great promos that we're running with other companies. They give us numbers. You can put them in on their websites. You'll figure out the rest.
And check out Abe's awesome Armaments. They're the ones who keep our reviews running with ammo and parts. Big thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. If you're in New Hampton, New Hampshire, stop by and check them out.
These two PWS uppers are on loan to us from a friend of the channel. None of this is provided by PWS. They would probably actually hate that we're running them on these lowers. But yeah, friend of the channel, so no qualms about saying what we think. Let's talk about why you might want these over a direct impingement AR-15. The Mark 116 is a 16.1 inch long stroke gas piston chambered in 223 Wild with a 1-in-8 twist. It features a 3-position gas regulator. The Mark 111 is actually an 11.8 inch barrel, also chambered in 223 Wild with a 1-in-8 twist, using the same long stroke gas piston system. These are just tuned a little differently for their respective platforms. I suspect, I don't know for sure, but I suspect the 11.8 inch, that little bit of extra distance is to really help get some dwell time behind that piston system. Biggest difference between these and a direct impingement AR-15 is the gas system. These are a long stroke gas piston, so it's a giant chunk of metal. Long piston that pushes up and is attached to, it's actually attached to the bolt carrier. That entire thing moves as one solid mass. Versus a direct impingement AR-15, you have a gas block that allows gas to come up into a gas tube. That gas travels down the gas tube back into your upper receiver, where it pushes pressure onto the bolt, causing it to cycle. The gas never really makes it past the gas regulator here because it's hitting that long stroke piston. Piston's all the way up here. Keeps the system much cleaner. Gets a lot of that carbon, gas, other shit out of your face. Keeps it out of your upper receiver, making them, one, more reliable, and two, a much cleaner system. One of the other real benefits with these is their ability to run full semi, full auto if you have that ability. Not having a gas tube really allows the system to maintain that high rate of fire for a very long time. You guys remember when Iraq Veteran 8888 used to do those AR meltdown videos? The first thing to fail on them almost universally was the gas tube. So the direct impingement systems, the gas tube, it's a very thin piece of metal with a bend in it. And as that heats up, the metal gets weaker. As those hot gases continue to rip it apart on the inside, it eventually weakens and splits the metal, causing the entire system to fail and basically become a single shot rifle at that point. So this gas piston really can't fail in the same way. There's other ways, other problems it can have, but for the most part, these are designed to run high rates of fire for a very long time without issue. One of the other pros of a long stroke gas piston, they run suppressed really well, and that ties right in with keeping the system cleaner. When you put a suppressor on the front of a gun, it tends to increase pressure, and increased pressure means increased gas and debris coming back into the system. The gas piston really helps, I guess the piston system really helps reduce the amount of gas coming back, so when you suppress it, all that gas is still reduced. One other feature about these that's really neat is the rail system. It locks into the upper receiver, very similar to how some of the other platforms do their receiver cut tabs, if you will. They're good night vision guns. They're good for a laser because they don't have that ability for the rail to twist, cant, or flex nearly as much as some of the other platforms out there. Real quick, some of the downsides to a long stroke gas piston or a piston system in general is one, added mass. All that extra weight changes not only the recoil pattern, but the feel of the rifle while shooting. Additionally, it changes the overall weight of the rifle. So, you know, if you're carrying it on a long hike, going up through mountains, backpacking, whatever you're doing with it, they tend to just weigh a little bit more. Not the end of the world, just something to be aware of. One of the other drawbacks is that added reciprocating mass tends to lend itself better to a combative rifle, a general purpose rifle, an SBR, heck, using these as a poor man's M27 even, with some drum mags there. When looking at them in terms of a long-range scoped carbine, I would go towards a gas impingement just for that reduced recoil, easier to stay on target, a little bit more accurate. The barrels in these are plenty accurate, but a gas impingement system will serve you better for long-range shooting. One other con is that the gas piston adds a lot of weight up front, causing the rifle to become a little bit less balanced compared to a gas impingement AR-15. One of the cons for these is part interchangeability. It's just a little bit less aftermarket parts available for piston systems. Not a bad thing, just something to keep in mind if you're looking at purchasing one of these. Getting back to the conversation of why would I buy one, should you buy one, who are these for? If I were doing everything all over again, I would absolutely grab one of these uppers, one of the Mark 111 SBR uppers for an SBR. I rarely ever shoot my 11.5 without a suppressor on it. So having a system that keeps a lot of that gas and debris out of my upper receiver, definitely a bonus. Since it's always suppressed anyway, having a cleaner system would be much appreciated because I don't clean these. I don't clean these enough. I clean my guns like twice a year. I put more lube on them, but I don't clean them. So having a system that's designed almost around that in mind, increased reliability, awesome. The added weight, not really a con for a short, lightweight system like this. I tend to shy away from the 16-inch do-it-all rifle. I actually prefer a 14.5 for that, if not like a 13.7. I'm running them on SBRs, so it's not as important for me to have that full pin and welded barrel length. I find that a 16 for me is a little bit longer when suppressed than I want it to be, and I tend to shoot mostly suppressed these days. Without a can, 16 inches is perfectly fine. If I wanted anything with a little bit more precision, putting a longer range optic on there, I think I'd want to switch to a gas impingement AR-15, something like the Ridgeline LPR. Really enjoy that gun. All right, guys, to quickly recap that, PWS systems, they are super reliable, good for suppressing, and very clean uppers because of that long stroke gas piston. Where they are held back a little bit, they're a touch heavier than a direct impingement AR-15. Parts availability is a little bit more limited, so it's just more difficult to find replacement parts, or you might have to order some that are a little bit more expensive. And then they're a little heavier. So none of that is really life-changing in either direction. But that being said, that reliability feature, if your life does depend on it, it is hard to go wrong with the PWS. Boris, what do you think? This is Boris the bear. He likes PWS. All right, guys. Question of every video: should you get a PWS upper? These things are rock solid. Really hard to go wrong with them. It really just comes down to, what do you want more? Do you want to shoot really far, long-range, small targets with an AR-15? Might not be the best option for you. Are you looking to build essentially an M27 IAR for cheap? Might be the gun for you. Do you want to run SBRs suppressed 90% of the time, if not more? Don't like cleaning your stuff? Hard to go wrong. If you have weak little arms, maybe not the gun for you. Maybe just lift more. Anyway, guys, this video is a ton of fun to make. These are cool uppers. They have some pretty interesting things going for them. Again, really just comes down to what you need and what you want.
All right, guys, that wraps up this video. Check out our beacons link down below, as well as Abe's awesome armaments. Thanks for watching, and catch you guys on the next one.